Here we go. Oh, no. Go right, Jim, just go right to that door there and take a left, you'll find it.
Oh,
Yeah, the new bathroom's back there, I've got them over. I was thinking this the other night, how our radio notifications have changed over the years. Back when the fire department started, back in the 1800s, they had a bell. And then in the 50s, they went to the radio system, similar to what we have now. Burlingame was unique because we had a power plant that ran 24 hours a day, so that was the most logical place to put the dispatcher because there was somebody there all the time. And it really worked good.
also 931.
Yep.
Whatever the city guys are talking, it come through there too.
Yeah.
If the mic was open. Well, Norman was sitting in the power plant and he sitting there telling dirty jokes in the office. And he was sitting on the mic. Gloria Hallberg called down there and told us that you gotta get off the mic because you're broadcasting dirty jokes all over Burlingame.
Nowadays, it's a lot of 70% of our calls are EMS calls, medical calls. You get a structure fire, you might be on it all night, might be on it 2 days. It just depends.
Try to be the first one to get in the truck so you can drive. The first guy gets there takes a ride. Or that's the way it used to be. I don't know how they do it anymore.
You never know who's coming, so you just have to, you do whatever has to be done.
Right. There's always some dangerous moments, that's for sure.
Jim Groucher. I used to live here in Burlingame. I was a construction worker. I moved away from here, I think it was in 1997. That's it.
How long were you on the department, Jim?
Well, like I told you a while ago, I thought 12 years I got a pocket, but it may have been longer than that.
Leland Boyce. I don't know how long I was on the fire department. 20-some years.
Long time.
Long time. Too long. I guess I was assistant chief at one time. Other than that, I don't know anything, I guess. That's about all.
I'm Keith Dunn. I served for about 13 years on the fire department as training captain, part of it anyway. I lived here, Burlingame, all my life till 85 when I moved away. This is one of the best experiences I ever had in my life being on the Burlingame Fire Department. I enjoyed myself, mainly from guys like these too.
I'm Fred Anstead, and I'm lived here in Burlingame pretty much all my whole life. I was working for a fire department for about 2 years, and I lived here, but I worked in Topeka.
I'm Brian Ansett, Fred Ansett's son. Jim came and asked me if he might remember back in the day. And it was way before I come around.
Well, I'm Jim Strome. I got on the department August of 1980, and
Graduated.
I'm still on the fire department. I wonder why sometimes, but it's been a pleasure. It started my career. I didn't have any idea I would do this. I worked for the city right out of high school, and old Tommy Oliver, the old fire chief, caught me one night when I decided I wasn't going to go to college, and I stayed at the city full time. He caught me one day at work, and he said, "We got a fire meeting tonight." And I looked at him like, "Okay." And he said, "You're going." I said, "I can't be a fireman." I guess it worked out because I'm still here. I ended up being, I went into it for a career, and I spent 36 years as a paid fireman, and I'm retired now. So really involved in the history of the department and everything, and I really appreciate these guys coming by today and telling stories, and I think this will be interesting, bring a lot of memories back. Looking through some of our archives, we run across a picture of the open house when the guys built the fire station. There's some pictures there of, I think there's Keith and Tom Garcia are standing there showing the air packs, and there's a picture there of Leland with the 74 Dodge Pumper, which was only 3 years old at the time. You were showing Gary McClellan. He was in there looking at the truck. And back in the 70s when the Jerry Lewis Telethon started up, Keith kind of headed that up, and I mean, it was a big deal. The town really surrounded us with that, and we didn't, I think you went door to door 1 year or something, and after that,
Door
you,
to door and a boot drive too. I mean,
but you drive down the street after that, and people would, you just had to drive the truck down the street, people would come out of their houses and give you money. We've got mandatory training. We've always trained 2 nights a month. When I first started, we had 1 training a month, and then we bumped it up to 2.
I used to love when they burned houses for people.
Training.
Yeah, use it training. Probably the best one I remember, Paul Watson had that trailer house up here, the old house. He asked us if we'd burn it down. For sure. The Tom said, we'll take half the department truck and stuff, go up and set up, the other half sit down here. We'll get the house going and we'll call you to come up there. So we got the house burning real good and we come flying in just like the house fire laid out, knock it down. Next day I was at the coffee shop and the boy said, yeah, they could have saved that house, they used boat trucks. he was really upset with us because we didn't save that house. Oh, you and Smarter, you built a pit fire over here where the ball diamonds used to be. I come walk around and had full gear on there, turn around and talk to Tom, and you guys hosed that fire off, blowed all the flames out of the pit right to where I was standing. So I got to try out my suit really well. I know it was an accident.
It was. The fire part's hard work, but when your feet tired and cold and wet, you gotta come back and all the hose gotta be cleaned, it's all gotta be put back on the truck's gotta be cleaned. That's when the hard work starts. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that gets done down here by volunteers. I mean, working on trucks, cleaning trucks, it's busier and busier all the time. They had quite a fleet. There was 3 Jeeps and then that old Ford pickup, and there was that 1 6x with an aerial ladder on it. What was the story on these? They went and got these in Missouri or something? Or
Manhattan.
in Manhattan?
Manhattan had a forestry service up there.
Yeah, of course you did.
And they'd give you the Jeep or the 6x6 or any of that stuff to use. I mean, you were responsible for taking care of it and everything was yours, but you couldn't sell it.
We got rid of the last Jeep in, I think, 82. So these were World War II hand-me-downs, and we ran them for 22 years
That
ourselves.
one may have been World War I.
Of all the trucks we've run through here, and I ain't saying this just because of Jim, but the truck that we bought from your company, that 4-door dually, it was what, 1.5 years old and had 100,000 miles on it. And we run that truck until 5 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, we finally got rid of it. And that was our first responder truck. For what we had in that truck, that was the best value we've ever had. And it just ran and ran.
We got a call someplace out east of town. I don't remember exactly where. Anyway, I seen Tom. I stopped, pick him up, and we come around to the corner here to go in east of town. It was frosty, kind of frosty that morning. Those bricks was just slicker as snot. Anyway, we went kind of sideways there. Almost got, what was the paperman's name? Kissinger. Almost got Kissinger's Cadillac. But we just barely missed it. We didn't hit anything, but boy, we was sideways up here in these brick streets for a while. But we made it to fire finally. Anyway, when we got done with the fire, we got everything out. I asked Tom if he's ready to go back. No, I'm not riding back with you. I can't remember who he rode back with, but he went right back with me. I never thought about it, but it was shady around that corner there. And I hit them things a little too fast.
What do you remember about the locker plant fire, Fred?
Well, that was a big fire that
Yeah.
burnt the top level off of the building.
You were telling me that you were up on the roof with some other guys spraying water down in it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, those are always tough fires. Tommy talked about the tar on the roof was about a foot thick, and he said they were trying to chop through it with axes and everything else, and I can imagine when it's cold especially, it don't chop too well.
When the roof finally caved in, the fire truck come down from Topeka, put the fire out. And that thing had enough power in it that it just broke everything up.
Well, the old truck they had at the time, Burlingame didn't have a whole lot of power. It didn't have very big hoses on it. Yeah. I know some of you guys remember this when I heard Tommy talk about it. I heard him talk about this, but like I say, I didn't know it was that long ago. It was a truckload of hand soap.
My understanding now, there was rolls of fencing in this trailer, lanolin hand cream, and books of matches. And the tires or something went out in the truck brakes and started heating, caught the trailer on fire. Well, it parked alongside the turnpike, and the fire department was coming out there looking at this thing smoking, and the high patrol opened up the back door, which gave plenty of air, which just, and it was shooting the rolls of wire out through the top of the trailer, and everybody was taking off running because they didn't know what was going to happen.
I remember on that Nichols fire, and I was still living with my folks, and I just bought a brand new Ford pickup. And I'd been back at the house for 2 or 3 hours, and I was just sitting there in the chair taking a nap, and the radio went off. So I parked right up in the middle of the street, about a half block west. You know, wasn't thinking about my new truck. Well, later that afternoon when I went to go home, I walked up the street, and I'd only owned that truck like 3 months. The windows, the whole truck was that brown gunk was running down the windows. I just knew I ruined that truck. I went home and I spent 4 hours scrubbing that thing. I got it clean. Wow, that was a dumb mistake. But this looked like some of them New York City fires. All the hoses running everywhere.
Yeah.
I remember people were on tractor scoops. They'd pull up tractors around the edge, and people were up in the scoop shooting water in the top of it. We were trying everything we could.
One thing I can remember is that this fire, I lived right across the road from it. A radio went off, I ran out. I remember hit the northwest corner and going down about halfway, and I got up on the roof. I was up there, I think Wayne Dunn was up there, Leland I think was up there. First thing I know, somebody said, get down off the roof, there could be some barrels that would explode. So I was kind of like a squirrel. I leaped and jumped and run down the ladder I went.
They stored oil for co-op for a long time. Nobody realized they took the oil out of that building when that fire happened. But they had a lot of combine tires in there, and that combine tires was exploding.
Yeah, I remember that. And Ronnie Bickford and I were in the west door, would have been the northwest corner where that big garage door was, and those tires would go off. I mean, it sounded, and you'd hear the snap rings bouncing off the rafters inside that garage. You just kind of duck, you know, and wait for the next one. But when you talk about being on the roof, Jim, did Tommy or Wayne come over and told me to grab a ladder and set the ladder for you guys? He was trying to get to the skylight over the parts room to get water in it. And he said, just get up there and hold the hose for him. So I'm standing on top of that ladder on that front wall, holding the hose. And I remember what you were saying, because I thought them guys are getting lower. And they were starting to sag in a little bit. And here come a whole bunch of track stars running to me, and I'm like, I bet they went on this ladder, because I got down, and I mean, they were right behind me.
One guy won't make come, said, my brother Wayne had just fell through the roof. And he said, we was on there, and he just disappeared. And so, into the building, and I was looking for Wayne. I'd have grabbed anybody standing there and drug him out. Had a ladder on the other side. He'd run across the roof because he couldn't come back because it was collapsing there, and he went down that ladder. I remember sitting out in the street, taking a break. I don't remember who this lady walked by, because I'd come out, watch me going in and out of the building. And she said, you're not too smart, are you? Well, sure, I'm glad you're on our department.
Well, you went in first, didn't you?
Yeah. That's what took Danny Smiley in there. And he's going to tell you a little different story, but we went in, the first time he'd ever been in the building that was on fire. But with that 15-minute air pack, you didn't have, you only got, what, a minute and a half, 2 minutes to get where you're going to go, be able to get back out. You hear the roof the corrugated tin above there was clinking and cracking. And I said, "You ready to get out of here?" And he dragged me out the door. So I took it he was ready to go. That's something I always enjoyed, going inside. Nobody yelled at me in there.
Lee Seastrom was there.
I thought he was, but
But he said he wasn't. But I was hoping Lee would be here today because I wanted to see you and him argue about it. 'Cause he said he wasn't there, and you said he was.
I could have been wrong. But I swear he was in front of that pumper right there for quite a while.
There's a picture of that truck, and it's on the wall in there. We need to look, but that looked like Tom Garcia standing in front of it. But I can't tell if that's him or at the same time, it kind of looks like Lee standing with his hands in his pockets.
Too short for her, too tall for me. Where'd that truck come from?
They bought the truck, that one and the next one after it was Charlie Huffman. He bought the chassis through him. And then the body was put on them in Marshalltown, Iowa.
I went to Iowa
To get it.
Bring it
get
back?
one.
I bet that's
Was that the one?
Yep.
one of them.
Well-
Is probably a rural one.
Seemed like Donnie Smith was
I bet he did. I bet
Seemed
he
like he did.
Yeah, because he was on the apartment at that time.
Yeah.
He was probably mayor at that time too, wasn't he?
He could have been, very possibly, yeah.
This picture here, it's fascinating looking at it. I'd like to know who the three kids were on the bicycles. You know, what they thought of back. That's a small town picture there. You got a main business burning and kids are hanging out on their bicycles watching it. You know,
Watching it go.
Yeah. That was a bad fire, no doubt about it. Of course, that ended up being an arson fire, and it was I think there was at least 3 fires set in the building, so that makes it a little tougher to fight them when you've got 3 different fires going on. You need something done, you ask Larry, and he'd do it. I mean, he painted that tanker, painted 2 brush trucks for us, and yeah. Even on this truck, there's some of the shells and stuff in it that he custom made wood shells and stuff, and did a nice job.
If he was going to do it, he was going to be dedicated at it.
Oh, yeah.
That's just what I knew about Larry.
For his age, when he retired, he could run circles around a lot of the young guys. He was pretty wiry. We'd go to a house fire, and if things were out, especially if it burned through the roof or whatever, you always had to get somebody on the roof to peel the shingles back and really put it out, and that's where Larry was. No, he was an all-around true volunteer, that's for sure.
Do you have any problem finding help?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's a lot of competition out there for people's time now. It's getting harder, and we try to sweeten the pie. They get a little pay per call now, and there's some benefits too. There's some insurance and things, but we're not the only one. They say by the perfect standard, it takes 14 people to put that house fire out. Well, we have now, if we had a structure fire come in right now, of course it's a weekend, we'd have more help, but on a weekday, we'll get 3 fire departments, and we might get maybe 6 to 8 people. It takes 3 fire departments to get that many, yeah.
What about grass fires? Is it being different for grass fires?
Not really.
Not really.
It's getting tough everywhere. All the departments everybody nationwide's fighting the same thing. Well, Auburn, they've got a paid guy 8 to 5 just to kind of fill that gap. And, it's been discussed here, and it might happen, I don't know. It takes money, but the thing is, you're still down to, you have one guy for sure is gonna go, but if you got a house fire, it takes more than one guy.
Yeah.
But it's something.